Hey, Shalom. I give all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh Shem Shai. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone. Peace and blessing to y'all. Keep pushing this truth throughout the four winds. All right, this is a follow-up video, part 2 of the book of Luke. How the New Testament recites the Old. And just to show you that things of the New Testament is just a recital of old things. For the simple fact of doing this video is people seeming to believe that the is something amazingly new about the New Testament, when it's all it is like things that's recited from the old. This is Isaiah 40. I'm gonna start at 3. It said, "The voice of him that crieth in the wilderness, prepare ye the way of the Lord, make straight in a desert a highway for our power. Every valley shall be exalted, and every mountain and hill shall be made low, and the crooked shall be made straight." And these are parabolic things, people and their ways. It says, "And the rough places plain." That's understanding. It says, "And the glory of the Lord shall be revealed, and all flesh shall see it together, for the mouth of the Lord has spoken it." Now we go to the New Testament, and we go to Luke. It says, chapter 3, "As it is written in the book of the words of Isaiah the prophet, saying, Prepare ye the way of the Lord, make his path straight. Every valley shall be filled, and every mountain shall be brought low, and the crooked shall be made straight, and the rough ways shall be made smooth, and all flesh shall see the salvation of Yahweh Shem Shai." Just a recital, that's all. Nothing new, nothing new. I mean, people just have it twisted by not knowing what's going on. Deuteronomy 8:3, "And he humbled thee, and suffered thee to hunger, and fed thee with manna, which thou knewest not, neither did thy fathers know, that he might make thee know that man doth not live by bread alone, but by every word that proceeded out of the mouth of Yahweh Shem Shai doth man live." Luke 4:4, "And Yahweh Shai said unto him," Yahweh Shai answered, saying, "It is written that thou shalt not live by bread alone, but every word of Yahweh Shem Shai." Like, it's self-explanatory, man. And these are things you can use when Christians go to that we dealing with just the New Testament, and you can just go to these verses and just show them, where was this quoted from? Where was this quoted from? Almost every word for word is like the same thing. Okay? Deuteronomy 6:13, "Thou shalt fear the Lord thy power, and serve him, and shalt swear by his name." Luke 4:8, "And Yahweh Shai answered and said unto him, Get thee behind me, Satan, for it is written, Thou shalt worship the Lord thy power, and him only shalt thou serve." You know what I'm saying? Serve him only. Deuteronomy 10:20, "Thou shalt fear the Lord thy power, him shalt thou serve, and him shalt thou cleave, and swear by his name." Luke 4:8, "And Yahweh Shai answered and said unto him, Get thee behind me, Satan, for it is written, Thou shalt worship the Lord thy power, and him only shalt thou serve." Same things, just being quoted over. Psalms 91:11 and 12, it says, "For he shall give his angels charge over thee, and keep thee in all thy ways. They shall bear thee up in their hands, lest thou dash thy foot against a stone." Luke 4:12, "For it is written, He shall give his angels charge over thee, to keep thee, and in their hands shall bear thee up, lest thou at any time dash thy foot against a stone." So Satan even knew these things. Satan was quoting from the Old Testament. Ain't that something? Satan was quoting from the Old Testament. He knew the scriptures. Okay? Deuteronomy 6 and 16. Ye shall not tempt Yahweh Shem Shai your power, as ye tempted him in Massah. Luke 4 and 12. And Yahweh shall answer and said unto him, it is said, thou shalt not tempt the Lord thy power. All these things were quoted because you have to understand that Yahweh Shai, when he was quoting everything he was quoting, it was from the Old Testament. And these prophets did likewise. Okay? Isaiah 61, verse 1. The Spirit of Yahweh Shem Shai is upon me, because the Lord hath anointed me to preach good tidings unto the meek. He hath sent me to bind up the brokenhearted, to proclaim liberty to the captives, liberty to the captives, and the opening of the prison of them that are bound, to proclaim the acceptable year of the Lord, and the day of vengeance of our power, to comfort all that mourn. Future prophecy. Luke 4 and 18. The Spirit of the Lord is upon me, because he hath appointed me to preach the gospel to the poor. He has sent me to heal the brokenhearted, to preach deliverance to the captives, and recovering of sight to the blind, to set at liberty them that are bruised, to preach the acceptable year of the Lord. All these things are future prophecies that were being requoted. Okay? 1 Kings 17:1 and 9. And Elijah the Tishbite, who was of the inhabitants of Gilead, said unto Ahab, as the Lord power of Israel liveth, before whom I stand, there shall not be dew nor rain these years, but according to my word. Arise, get thee to Zarephath, which belongeth to Zidon, and dwell there. Behold, I have commanded a widow woman there to sustain thee. Luke 4 and 25. But I tell you of a truth, many widows were in Israel in the days of Elias, when the heaven was shut up 3 years and 6 months, when great famine was throughout the land. But unto none of them was Elias sent, save the Sarepta, a city of Sidon, unto a woman that was a widow. Just re-quoted everything from 1 Kings. Okay? 2 Kings 5 and 14. Then went he down and dipped himself 7 times in Jordan, according to the saying of the man of the Most High, and his flesh came again like unto the flesh of a little child, and he was clean. Luke 4 and 27. And many lepers were in Israel in the time of Eliseus the prophet, and none of them were cleansed, saving Naaman the Syrian. It just gave you what it just quoted. Same thing. Leviticus 14 and 2. This shall be the law of the leper in the day of his cleansing. He shall be brought unto the priest. Luke 5 and 14. And he charged him to tell no man, but go and shew thyself to the priest. Okay? And offer for thy cleansing according as Moses commanded, for a testimony unto them. So it's the same thing in the New Testament with lepers, because it was quoted what you done in the Old Testament. The Old Testament is just a standard in the ground that you stand up on, that has to be lived throughout. Why do you think when we read Hebrews 8 and 8, it gives you the what the New Testament or New Covenant is about? The laws are going to be put in our inward parts. Okay? I mean, Where were the laws first found? In the Old Testament. How do we get back to Yahweh Shai? Keeping the laws. Simple. 1 Samuel 21:6. So the priest gave him hallowed bread, for there was no bread there but the shewbread that was taken from before the Lord to put hot bread in the day when it was taken away. Luke 6, chapter 3 and 4. Verse 3 and 4. And Yahweh Shai answered and said to him, have ye not read so much as this, what David did when himself was an hungered, and they which were with him, how he went into the house of the Most High, and did take and eat the shewbread, and gave also to them that were with him, which it is not lawful to eat but for a priest alone. He just quoted 1 Samuel. You know what I'm saying? Amos 6:1. Woe to them that are at ease in Zion, and thus is the mountain of Samaria, which are named chief of the nations, to whom the house of Israel came. Luke 6:24. But woe unto you that are rich, for ye have received your consolation. Okay? Woe to them that are at ease in Zion and trust in the mountain of Samaria, which are named chief of the nation. So you're trusting in something higher. Okay? Destruction's coming to you. Okay? Hope this is edifying. I want to give all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh Bashem Yahushua. Noble honor to the apostle and Elder Great Millstone. Peace and blessing to y'all. Pushing this truth throughout the four winds. Shalom.